Hey, what's up YouTube? Figure I'll do a video today on top 10 items that I check before I go on a road trip. Now this might be different for some people depending on the work you recently had done in your car and the condition your car is in. So first, I check my battery terminals. I make sure my terminals are clean. In this case, mine wasn't, so I had to take it off and clean it. I'll just show real quick how I cleaned it. Now you could pick this up from Harbor Freight, AutoZone, any parts store. And what you do is, once you loose the nut on the connector, on both of them, disconnect them. I already had those taken apart. Now the tool comes apart. It's actually a twist action. So once you take the tool apart, it has the bristles on the inside and on the outside. So what you want to do first is, while it's actually together, you want to use this end, sit it on top of your battery terminal, push down on it, and just give it a few turns. And once you pop it off, it'll be nice and clean. And the same for the other terminal. Push down, twist it, pop it off. It's nice and clean. Now when you take it apart, this end, you could see it's all worn out, but you'll get the idea of it. This end, you put it inside the cable and you do the same. You twist it and you clean the inside of the cable out. And I do that for both cables. And once I'm done, stick it in, twist, move it back and forth, make sure it's nice and clean, then put everything back together. Now I'm not going to be disconnecting any cabling or wiring or do any kind of work on the car, so I put my terminals back on. You could leave it off, and when you're done all your checks, you could put it back on, but I put mine on. I'm not going to be taking anything apart, so I'm not worried about the car. If you have automatic start, that it's going to start and any damage happens. And this purple that you're seeing on it is just actually battery protector and sealer. You just spray it on and it helps prevent moisture and corrosion from building up on the terminals. Now my second check, I check my radiator hoses. I just want to squeeze them, make sure they should be a little firm but not soft. If they feel soft and brittle, then you want to change those. So I check my radiator hose. This is the upper. Then we have the lower down in here. Just want to give that a squeeze. Make sure it's firm and not soft. And once you squeeze it, listen if you hear like any kind of crackling. The threads that hold these hoses together, sometimes they go bad, so you could actually hear it when you squeeze it. Now the third thing I checked is my drive belt. Just want to check for any kind of cracks. No sign of wear. Want to check the pulleys, the tensioner. Just give it a visual inspection. See if you see any cracks in the belt, or if the belt looks worn or maybe just looks brittle for any reason, then you're gonna need to change that. Now check 4, you just want to go to the front of the vehicle and look through the grill and make sure your AC condenser and your radiator is not all clogged up with leaves or debris. Sometimes you drive down the road and you would pick up a garbage bag, or leaves would get caught up in there, and that'll actually restrict airflow and cause you to overheat. Just want to check that. Check the front grill, the upper grill. Oh, that's nice and clean. So 5, we want to check our tire and wheel. So just make sure wheel is not damaged. Sometimes they have like a little bend right where the tire bead meets the rim. That'll cause like a slow leak, but you want to check your tire especially. Make sure they're not cracked up, no signs of damage. Check the threads. Make sure your threads are good, it's not wearing uneven from side to side. 6, you want to check your brakes and rotors. And all this is just physical inspection. You're not taking anything apart. Just you want to go on the back of the rotor and look, and you can see the brake pad right in here. You can see got plenty left. Come up top, turn the wheel at an angle, look between this groove here, and you can see the outer brake pad. See, got plenty left. The rotor, it looks dirty, but it's not a lot of grooves in it for me to worry about it. But if it has deep grooves and deep scratches, you may want to have that checked out, maybe replaced. Now that's the front brake, and you want to do the same to the rear. You want to check the rotor. This one's good. You want to check your brake pads. There's a little opening in the back, you can see the pads. Check those. That's good. Maybe just a quick visual inspection of suspension parts. Make sure nothing's loose while you have the wheel off. Now the next 3 steps requires the engine to be running. So I gotta put my engine running. And once I got it running, I let it warm up to normal operating temperature. And I just want to check the water pump, make sure I'm not hearing any noise like a bad bearing, and no coolant leaks. I also want to look at the pulleys and everything that's turning, make sure nothing's wobbling. Now step 8, once it's warmed up, you just want to check the radiator cap, make sure no fluids leaking out. Want to check the radiator, look for any type of fluid leaks, especially where it's crimped right here. You have aluminum crimped onto plastic, so a lot of time those are like high stress points, so they crack and break. Just want to check that. Now step 9, just want to get a voltmeter and make sure you have it set on DC volts. There are different types of meters. Some have the numbers like 10, 20 volts. You want to put it on 20 if it's not just saying DC volts. You want to put it on 20, being that the battery is like 12 volts. Now with the engine off, the battery should be around 12.5, 12.6 volts. That's optimal range for a battery when the engine's not running. Now you want to start the engine, and this test is just a quick check of checking the alternator, make sure it's charging. So once the engine's running, you want to get the voltmeter. You put the positive lead for the positive lead, negative for negative, and you should get around 14 volts. See, I got 14.3. So that's telling me that the alternator is actually charging the battery. Now if you put the leads on the battery and no change happens, then there's something going on with your alternator. But once you have that, you know the alternator is charging. And that's just a quick check. There are other ways to check your alternator. This is just a quick check, like I said, before I go on any road trip. And then I just visually inspect the alternator. Make sure no weird sounds coming from it, no worn out bearing. And that's what alternators normally look like. You see the coil in there, fully in front. Now I would do this with the engine off, but I just wanted to add this in the video so my engine's still running. So my 10th and final check, I'm actually inside the vehicle. I'm just gonna check the horn. That's good. The wipers. Make sure my washer fluid is good. It's not broken. It's all full. My headlights, low beams, high beams, front signal, rear signal, passenger side front signal, passenger side rear signal, front hazard lights, rear hazard lights. Now once all those checks are done, just want to verify everything is buttoned back up properly. Check all fluids. Make sure they're where they're supposed to be. Just double check everything. Want to make sure you clean out any debris, any leaves. So like all this, you want to clean that out. Anything that could restrict airflow or clog up cabin filters, just want to clean all that out. Shut everything down and take the car for a ride. Now I normally do this maybe a week before I go on my trip. That way I'll have enough time to drive the car, get it running, going through a few cycles, and I could see if anything else, you know, that may concern me that I may want to check out. Now once you check all those things out, then you're all set. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And it's dinner time, so I got me some jerk chicken and some corn going.